Hi, Ellen. We've got someone in our family we would love for you to meet. We all come from a big family of 7 with lots of children and grandchildren, and all a family of teachers. We'll tell you about that in a little bit. One of the people we would like you to meet is our brother Larry, and we feel he is an angel amongst all of us. You had so many categories we could have chosen to put Larry into, and he fit a few. So I think what we'll do is we'll let you go ahead and you choose which category you think he fits into. Some of my family members are going to share some of their thoughts about Larry, but give you a little bit of an idea of what a special person he is, some of the things he's done for our family, for those around him, for total strangers. So here's a few things we'd love for you to know about our brother Larry.
My Uncle Larry is one of the kindest, has one of the most gentle souls, and is one of the most selfless people I've ever met in my life.
It's easy for him and comfortable for him to make someone feel special. And he doesn't have to try. I don't know how he does it. It's just Larry. Yep.
And I don't know, just really appreciate everything Larry's done for everybody else, and how he's always put everybody else first.
I think he's one of the most generous people I've ever met in my life, not just with his money, but his time. He's been a teacher all his life, so there really hasn't been a lot of money, but he still is willing to spend his resources that he has on his friends and especially his family.
When I graduated from college, I was the oldest in our family. My brother was 3 years younger than me. And when I graduated from college, I went for a couple of job interviews, one in Wisconsin and one in Connecticut. When I got out to Connecticut, I had a hard time finding a job right away, so I didn't have the money to come back. So I contacted Larry, and he was just doing he was just working on a summer job himself, but he sent me money to get by until I could get my first paycheck, and so he helped me out a lot. And even though he was younger than me and only in college himself.
He lives through all of his nieces and nephews, and he just has so much love for everyone.
He does. And you know, sharing that love comes a lot with our vocation. I had mentioned earlier about the fact that we are a family of teachers, and amongst all of us we have right around 340 years of teaching experience. So we feel that giving to others is kind of the way we live, but Larry has been a great role model to show that giving to others is what you do.
No matter who they are, if he knows them or not.
Yep, whether you know them or not.
In the little town that he teaches in, there was a family who had a fire, and it was a real bad fire, and there was a young child that was injured very badly, and they had to send that child to the burn center in Texas, all the way from North Dakota. And Larry knew that this child would not have support and would not have people able to come and visit him. So Larry drove all the way down to Texas and spent a good chunk of his summer just being with that family and supporting them. And that's just how he is. He's a very selfless person.
In 2001, my mom passed away at the end of August, and we have 7 teachers in our family. At the time, for about 5 years prior to that, my dad had been afflicted with Alzheimer's, and my mom was his only caretaker. And we were all ready to go back to school, and all of a sudden we were left without a caretaker for my dad. And we had a family meeting, and none of us could decide what we should do. And then finally Larry just decided that he was going to take a year off from teaching, stay with my dad for that entire year, and he did that, sacrificing his own career and doing what was best for the family at the spur of the moment. And that took a lot, because he had to back out of a teaching contract, and he is probably the last guy that would ever do that to a school. He's just a person that would never shirk his responsibility. But his responsibility to his family was just more. So, and did we ever appreciate that? Because we were all in that mode to get back into our teaching and go back to school and ready to go. And all of a sudden, we had this crisis, and he solved the whole problem for everybody in our family.
The very first time I met Larry was at his father's funeral, and it was such a sad situation, but any time that he could notice that I was feeling uncomfortable, he would come over and be the one to say, how are you doing, you know, and just ask questions to try and get to know me. And here's this man who just lost, you know, the most important person in his life, to just be trying to make me feel comfortable. It was truly a memorable thing for me. So
Larry is everyone's #1 fan. He has always been to every single sporting event, graduation, no matter the distance.
He doesn't miss anything, whether it's in Washington or Wisconsin. He'll be there supporting his family.
He's always there for us.
Yep.
he'll just get newspapers from all over North Dakota, sit down at Perkins for hours, drinking his coffee, eating his breakfast, and looking through those papers. And if he finds one person's name, just a snippet about them, cut their name out, cut out the little article, write them a heartfelt letter, and send it to them in the mail. And I think that's something really special that nobody takes the time to do anymore.
About a year and a half ago, Brother Larry was diagnosed with prostate cancer. He did have the surgery, got his prostate removed, and this past 3 months he found out that he may need additional treatments. He did go to Mayo Clinic, and they at this time he doesn't have to, but we know that in the near future he'll be seeking more treatment. And the ironic thing is, he will be driving back and forth to Mayo, and we don't know how long this Toyota of his is going to last. It already has 412,000 miles on it. So as a family, we're going to try to figure out a way to help him in that area. But those 412,000 miles basically have been miles to go to his nieces and nephews' sporting events, for basically other people, not for Larry. We just can't say enough about his generosity. He's one of a kind, and that's too bad.
What we want you to know is Larry gives. We really, really want to give back. And if there's any way we can help this guy who's been there for everyone he comes in contact with, we would just be honored if we could do that.
And he is truly an angel among us.
Truly. Thank you, Ellen.